Good afternoon, and thank you for joining our webinar on Emission Reduction Alberta's Strategic Energy Management for Industry Program, or SEMI. We're glad you could join us today so we can share this great opportunity with you. Taking advantage of SEMI will set your facility on a path to success by enabling energy savings, increasing competitiveness, and reducing greenhouse gas emissions. I would like to start with a land acknowledgement. In the spirit of reconciliation, we at ERA acknowledge the privilege of living, working, and investing on traditional territories, which includes Treaty 6, 7, and 8 nations, Otipemsuuk, Métis government, and the Métis Nation, Inuit, First Nations, and all others who live and care for these lands. We are dedicated to promoting a culture of collaboration and meaningful engagement. Before we get into the agenda, I'd like to start by going through a few housekeeping items just to make sure we get the most out of our time today. First of all, we're expecting almost 140 participants today, so everyone's microphone is muted to avoid unintentional background noise. If you encounter technical challenges related to the webinar connection, please email semi@eralberta.ca. However, if you can't resolve your technical issues or if you need to leave early, don't worry. The recording of this webinar will be posted on the SEMI program website. The recording will include both the presentation and the live Q&A with audio. Speaking of the Q&A, on the top right of your screen, you'll notice a question mark icon. Clicking this will open a side panel where you can type in your questions. You can submit your question anytime during this webinar. Now, in terms of an agenda for today, we'll start with a high-level program overview. We'll then introduce eligibility criteria, program activities, and incentives. Next, we'll touch on contractor eligibility and the Contractor Code of Conduct. We'll then provide a walkthrough of the contractor registration process and introduce the suite of program support resources available for contractors. Lastly, we'll spend some time talking about resources available to help you and your clients participate. At the end of the presentation, there will be an opportunity for Q&A session. If you have questions, please use the question functionality in the control panel, generally on the right-hand side of your screen. And with that, let's get started. My name is Luca Jungen, and I'm the Efficiency Program Delivery Lead at ERA.
My name is Srikantha, and I'm the VP of Programs at Enerva.
There may be some people on the call today who have not heard of Emissions Reduction Alberta, so I'd love to share a short overview. ERA has a proven track record of fulfilling the mandate, vision, and strategic priorities that you see on this slide. When Minister Rebecca Schultz announced her funding in October 2024, she made it clear that businesses must demonstrate they are serious about improving their environmental performance and lowering emissions if they want access to capital. ERA investments ensure Alberta has competitive businesses that deliver sustainable environmental outcomes, attract investment, create jobs, and grow our GDP. Our vision is anchored in the belief that our success is measured in both economic and environmental terms. I would now like to pass it over to Mayuran, who will provide an overview of Enerva Energy Solutions.
Hi, everyone. It's really great to speak to you today. I'll briefly share a bit about Enerva. ERA selected Enerva through a procurement process to support the delivery of the SEMI program. We're a team of mechanical, electrical, and chemical engineers supported by technologists that understand energy use, energy performance, and energy analysis. We use various software tools that provide energy baselines, energy models, and opportunity assessments for specific equipment. We also leverage our library of energy saving opportunities for electrical and thermal energy systems. Calgary is where our Center of Excellence for Energy Management is located. This is where we are developing advanced energy and emission analytics software. It is also our hub for energy management professionals. If you're interested in learning more about the Center of Excellence, please feel free to reach out to me. Our primary goal for this program is to provide exceptional service to the program participants and maximize your ability to leverage the SEMI program. As an example, and many of this call have participated in the Energy Savings for Business program, from February 2021 to now, ESB delivered energy savings for businesses across Alberta. ESB primarily targeted commercial customers, but the SPEED initiative specifically focused on small oil and gas producers. ESB was a $55 million program that drove $385 million in total capital expenditures in the province. I will now turn things back over to Luca.
Thank you, Mayuran. I will now get into an overview of the SEMI program. Emissions Reduction Alberta's Strategic Energy Management for Industry program helps industrial and manufacturing facilities improve their energy performance and increase profitability by offering co-funding to implement an integrated system of practices, processes, and capital retrofits. Taking advantage of the SEMI program will set your facility on a path to success by enabling energy savings, increasing competitiveness, and reducing greenhouse gas emissions. You can find more detailed information on the SEMI website, including documents such as a program brochure, terms and conditions, application guides, and an FAQ document. With funding from the Government of Alberta's Technology, Innovation and Emissions Reduction, or TIER Fund, and Natural Resources Canada, or NRCan, SEMI offers financial incentives that cover up to 50% of eligible project costs for for-profit organizations and up to 100% for not-for-profits and Indigenous organizations. Please note that March 31st, 2027 is the deadline to complete your project and submit eligible expenses and project documentation. SEMI also allows in-kind contributions from the facility to offset the co-funding requirement for certain activities. The SEMI program is designed to support industrial, commercial, and manufacturing facilities owned or leased by the participant located in Alberta. Facilities must have been in operation for at least 1 year with fixed equipment and buildings used to produce goods. Eligible sectors listed on the slide are defined by the North American Industry Classification System, or NAICS codes. Eligible facilities may also include those engaged in energy-consuming processes and involve the physical or chemical transformation of materials or substances into new products. Products may be finished, ready to use or consume, or semi-finished, like raw materials. Related activities include assembling component parts, blending materials, and finishing products. If you have a facility with a NAICS code that is not listed in the table but meets the requirements in the note listed at the bottom of the slide, please reach out to us to discuss. If you or your clients operate an industrial or manufacturing facility but you can't find your NAICS code on this list, again, please reach out to discuss. On this slide, I wanted to briefly mention what is out of scope for SEMI. The first is emitting technologies. In SEMI, energy efficiency projects must be non-emitting at the point of energy use. They must use energy sources such as electricity, renewable energy, biomass, hydrogen, etc. New construction is ineligible as we're trying to avoid a scenario where our program results in a surge of new construction, thereby increasing overall emissions. Facilities outside of Alberta are ineligible to participate. Also, facilities must have an eligible NAICS code that is tied to an industrial manufacturing facility. Examples of ineligible facilities include schools, churches, restaurants, auto body and repair shops, and warehouses. For eligible facilities, the first step in the SEMI program is to complete a mandatory Facility Readiness Assessment, or FRA. The FRA will provide recommendations on how to maximize your access to all SEMI activities based on the facility's current energy management capabilities and readiness for implementing energy-saving measures. ERA service provider, Enerva Energy Solutions, will deliver the FRA. The reason we are having our service provider, Enerva, complete the FRA is that we want to ensure we're collecting data consistently. Also, a key outcome of the FRA is providing a roadmap for other SEMI activities. After completing the FRA, participants can sign up for one or all of the following 4 activities: conduct an energy assessment and audit, implement an energy management information system, participate in strategic energy management training, invest in energy efficient focused capital retrofits. Funding caps for each activity are listed on the slide. As mentioned on the last slide, the first step in the SEMI program is the FRA. As the name implies, and we're very intentional with this step is to quickly and efficiently assess your readiness to maximize your participation in a comprehensive suite of activities designed to improve your energy productivity, lower energy use, and reduce associated emissions. As a result, participants can expect lower energy bills and improved competitiveness. The FRA is important because it is designed to provide a baseline energy use consistent with the program's reporting obligations. It will help you understand your facility's energy use. It's designed to select some major systems for a deeper assessment at an equipment level. It's designed to be efficient and customized to engage you to reduce costs. We'll examine your current energy management practices and information systems. Understanding the current status will help us provide meaningful recommendations. The FRA will provide a roadmap to maximize your access to all SEMI activities so we can allocate the SEMI budget based on your needs. SEMI is time-bound, so budget planning is critical. One of the outputs of the FRA may be a recommendation to complete additional assessments in your facility. These optional recommendations would include further investigating energy consumption in an effort to recommend measures to reduce the energy consumption or GHG emissions in the facility. The EAA will target systems that service the entire facility, like steam systems, process heat, or compressed air systems. The EAA will describe the current equipment, operating conditions, proposed energy efficient alternative, associated energy savings, and other benefits. The EAA will provide a business case related to the proposed energy saving opportunities with sufficient economic analysis to support business decisions. The expected level of accuracy of the EAA is plus minus 25% for energy savings and capital costs. Participants can receive an incentive of up to $50,000 to complete an EAA. The FRA contains an initial assessment of facilities EMIS. EMIS are critical tools within the SEMI framework, providing facilities with the ability to collect, analyze, and manage energy data to inform operating decisions. EMIS activities include hardware and software components that support data collection and monitoring. An example is using sensors and meters. Also analysis and optimization. An example here is analyzing data to identify inefficiencies, track energy consumption patterns, and optimize processes. Another one would be reporting and decision making. An example here is providing insights into energy use, which helps in making informed decisions, detecting anomalies, and implementing corrective actions promptly. Participants can receive an incentive of up to $250,000 to install or retrofit an EMIS. The Strategic Energy Management, or SEM activity, provides training to participants in the group learning environment. SEM is designed to be delivered in cohorts or group training sessions of up to 5 to 10 facilities. Participants will be grouped based on geography, sector, and a similar complexity in energy management knowledge. Participants will benefit from peer-to-peer learning environment that will focus on experiential learning, knowledge sharing, as well as technical support. These groups will be placed by facilities of similar complexity and size, energy management knowledge, sector, and geography where possible. The curriculum is structured to follow the 50,001 Canada Ready status and enable participants to complete and implement their SEM plan. The focus areas of the curriculum will be tailored based on the needs and interests of the training group. For capital retrofits, industrial and manufacturing facilities can receive up to $1 million in funding to invest in energy efficiency-focused capital retrofits for the facilities after completing FRA. The retrofit must meet the following criteria. They must be non-emitting. The retrofit must reduce energy usage and emissions by at least 5% compared to the baseline. The payback period for the retrofits must be greater than 1 year. As noted earlier, new construction is ineligible. To provide an example for non-emitting, an eligible example is installing a solar PV system and LED lighting. An ineligible example is upgrading the efficiency of your natural gas-fired furnace. For for-profit organizations, it is anticipated that a portion of the required contribution can be provided as an in-kind contribution. What this means, at a high level, is that in-kind contributions can include facility staff time necessary to complete any aspect of the SEMI program and prior energy management activities that contribute value to program activities. This can include the time participants spend on tasks during this SEMI activity, including data collection, drafting documents, or developing the energy profile, baseline, and a breakdown of end-use energy consumption. In-kind contributions could take place before or during the delivery of the eligible activity. Past costs must avoid or replace a current cost. For example, past reports or study costs related to eligible activities will be allocated based on the relevance to offset the cost of current eligible activities. Past energy or other facility data gathering costs will be considered on a case-by-case basis according to the relevance of current or predicted operating circumstances. With all that said, if you think the SEMI program is right for you, then please visit semiprogram.ca and register. You'll need one person to be assigned as the account owner when you register. The account owner can invite other users to support your application development by creating your facility, or if you have more than one facility, you can assign different users. For each facility, you will need to complete an FRA workbook. The portal will be used to manage all SEMI activities as well. For consultants, contractors, and vendors, once a program participant has registered as an account owner, they can grant you access as well to support the registration and all eligible activities. Contractors are critical to the success of the SEMI program. It's your products and expertise that will help increase the competitiveness of participating Alberta businesses. In the context of the program, an eligible contractor is any member of the supply chain that as an organization can satisfy and uphold the requirements of the Contractor Code of Conduct. This includes installers, manufacturers, distributors, as well as design, engineering, and architectural firms. To participate, contractors are required to accept the Contractor Code of Conduct that defines the requirements and expectations for participating in SEMI. The goal of the Contractor Code of Conduct are to ensure eligible contractors adhere to the laws and governing best practices of industry, maintain the appropriate levels and types of insurance, and operate in good faith in the marketplace, delivering professional services, providing quality products at fair market prices, and who can honor commitments and address warranty issues as they arise. The Code of Conduct is designed to provide an opportunity for established and experienced contractors to benefit, provide a framework to support new businesses, and provide resources to firms who fail to operate in line with the reasonable expectations defined in the Code of Conduct. I will now pass it over to Mayuran, who will provide a contractor registration demonstration.
Thanks, Luca. Let's take a moment now to showcase the registration process for a contractor registering with SEMI. The first step is to navigate the SEMI online portal at semiprogram.ca. So that's www.semiprogram.ca. You will need to select account owner. So you can see that at the top left screen there, and then enter in your email. Your email is verified as a security step for the portal. The security verification also gives you the highest level of privileges. So it's quite an important step. Once your email is verified, what you'll see is this new screen come up where the contractor checkbox will become unlocked. So if you are a contractor, you'll need to select the contractor checkbox. The checkbox is critical since it separates a contractor account from a participant account. Those two types of accounts have different types of access. You can then enter your name, your phone number, and select a password. Please note that your password does have specific requirements for length and type of characters. This is where you enter in your information about your company on the next screen. You can select where your company operates. That's the question on the left-hand side. Then what activities you're interested in, that's the middle column, as well as what technologies you specialize in. As you can see on the screen, you can select more than one option. You'll also need to agree to two consents. The first consent is the reading and the agreement of the provisions to the Code of Conduct. You'll see the Code of Conduct on the screen when you click the blue link. You can see it there at the bottom of the page. And then the second consent is with regards to the GST, WCB, and insurance requirements. You will need to agree to the consents before you can proceed. Now, on the next screen, you'll need to enter information about the company name, the address, and the website. After this information, there are three more consents that pop up. The first consent is the portal service agreement. You will see the portal service agreement when you click the blue link. The second consent is related to privacy, ensuring only business or commercial information is being submitted with the registration. And then the third consent is for Canadian anti-spam legislation compliance. You will need to agree to those three consents before being able to create the contractor account. Congratulations! Once you complete those steps, now you've successfully registered on the SEMI portal. SEMI participants can now see your company in the contractor list. I'll show you what the contractor list looks like a bit later on in the presentation. Once a participant gives you access to their applications, you'll be able to see the application list instead of this welcome message. I will talk about user management now. You have created an account owner account, and now you can add your team members to the account as individual users. So on the screen, you'll see the invite user button at the top right, where you can invite your team members by entering their emails. People can also request to join your company, and you can accept or reject them. Once people have joined your contractor account, they can then access the applications that your customers have granted your company access to. Then this is what the contractor looks like. This is what it looks. The contractor list that customers see is as follows. As you can see, customers can browse your company details and choose to add your contractor company to their applications. Last but not least, I'd like to let you know that after this webinar, we will be sending existing registered contractors on the portal an email with a link that you need to complete in order to participate in the SEMI program. You will receive this email from tech support@semiprogram.ca. I will now pass things back over to Luca.
Thank you, Mayuran. Before we get into our Q&A session, I wanted to highlight that on the SEMI website, we have provided answers to commonly asked questions. On this slide, I have also provided a summary of the most common questions we have received to date about the SEMI program. The first one is, how long will the FRA take to complete and what is the approximate cost? The duration and cost of the FRA will depend on the size and complexity of your facility, among other factors. We're expecting FRAs to take 3 to 8 weeks after the facility owner signs the terms and conditions. During the scoping meeting, we'll work with you to determine the cost of the FRA. We anticipate that most participants will have enough in-kind contributions to offset any out-of-pocket expenses to complete the FRA. Number 2, how can I participate as a contractor? To become an eligible contractor, first please register on the SEMI online portal and review the Contractor Code of Conduct on the SEMI website. Additionally, ensure that your clients are registered there as well. After enrolling, you'll be able to work with eligible facilities to support energy assessments and audits, EMIS, or capital retrofits. Please note that Enerva Energy Solutions will deliver the Facility Readiness Assessment and Strategic Energy Management training. Number 3, will I need to upload insurance and WCB documents on the portal? On the portal, you will be required to attest to having adequate insurance and WCB. As part of our checks and balances, we'll be following up with a random sample of registered contractors to request that they provide supporting documentation. Number 4, can I access the SEMI participant list? Can ERA put us, as in contractors, in touch with the SEMI participants who need a contractor? Once SEMI participants register on the portal, they will have access to a list of eligible contractors in the SEMI program. They will be able to filter this list by the activity they would like to complete and also by region in Alberta. ERA does not endorse any contractors on this list, and the list is only meant as a reference. We also always recommend that the SEMI participants get 3 quotes before moving forward with a contractor. Okay, congratulations to all those who have made it this far. This is now your opportunity to ask any questions that you have for Mayuran, Harsanjeet, and myself. If you haven't already, please type your question into the questions section of the control panel, which is typically at the right-hand side of your screen. I would also like to introduce my colleague, Anna, SEMI Marketing Strategist, who will moderate the Q&A session. Anna has been keeping tabs on your questions in the background. Anna, what questions do we have so far?
Thanks, Luca. Hi, everybody, and thank you for submitting questions. I see a lot of great questions coming in. We likely won't have time to answer all the questions today. If we don't get to your question, please submit it to semi@eralberta.ca, and we'll be happy to respond to you. Please also note that we'll be using your questions to inform our frequently asked questions, and we will send a link to the updated version to all of our attendees after the webinar. Okay, let's get started. Our first question is, can clients who completed LED retrofits in the past be eligible for PV solar and battery energy storage systems? Mayuran, would you be able to address this one?
Yes, Anna. So the SEMI program generally requires you to submit your application and receive pre-approval before starting the project. Previously completed projects are not eligible. If you have started your project but it has not yet completed, you may still be able to participate in the SEMI program. The first step is to complete a facility readiness assessment, the FRA. Project costs that are incurred before the SEMI program announcement date of October 16th, 2024 will not be eligible. They'll be ineligible expenditures. So for example, if you purchase capital equipment before the announcement date, it would not be considered an eligible project cost. Eligible expenses incurred on or after the announcement dates must meet all eligibility criteria and will be reviewed on a case-by-case basis.
Thank you, Mayuran. Let's move up to the next question. This one will be for Luca. How does this program work with projects that were previously funded by ERA?
Yeah, thanks, Anna. If you have already received funding from ERA, you can still apply for the SEMI program. However, we just need to make sure that the scope of your SEMI project is distinct from the work that was previously funded by ERA.
Thank you, Luca. The next question is for Mayuran. As a contractor, I have already registered on the portal. With the new update, do I need to re-register, or will my existing credentials reflect the changes?
So that's a great question, Anna. So your existing credentials will work. We're working on updating the account of every contractor who has already registered to reflect the updated features. After this webinar, we will be sending an email out to the people who are registered contractor accounts, and they'll be getting an email from techsupport@semiprogram.ca. The email will have a form within it that has some requested information that you need to complete. If you can please complete it and submit it, then we'll be able to update your account for you.
Luca, could you please comment on the environmental attributes and other government incentive stacking?
Yeah, definitely. ERA will retain ownership of the environmental attributes generated through the capital retrofits activity. We don't anticipate that there'll be any environmental attributes that are generated from the other SEMI activities due to the difficulty in passing the protocols required for monetization. In terms of stacking, the maximum level of total government funding cannot exceed 75% of the total project costs, except in the case where there's an eligible recipient that is a provincial, territorial, or municipal government, or their departments and agencies, as well as not-for-profit organizations or Indigenous recipients. In these cases, the total government funding authorized will not exceed 100% of the total project costs.
Great, thanks, Luca. Let's move on to the next question. Are there different rebate rates for different capital retrofits, solar, LED, VFD, etc.? Luca, this one will be for you as well.
Yeah, you bet. For the Energy Savings for Business program, a program we previously had in market, we had a list of eligible technology types where we provided prescriptive incentives that were based on, for example, dollar per motor, dollar per horsepower, etc. That's how we calculated the incentives. The SEMI program is different in the sense that it does not have a list of eligible measure types, nor does it provide prescriptive incentives. The benefit of this approach is that it provides more flexibility to install technology types of your choosing, as long as they meet our eligibility requirements. So for example, this is non-emitting technologies, no new construction, payback period of greater than 1 year, etc. Please note that we have some additional eligibility criteria for LED lighting and solar PV specifically on our website. And the reason for this criteria is to ensure that the SEMI program supports a broad range of technologies.
Thank you, Luca. We have another interesting question here. Have you seen much interest regarding solar capital retrofits after the updated eligibility criteria? Mayuran, would you like to address this one, please?
Yeah, for sure, Anna. So we have seen quite a lot of interest. I want to also note that for solar projects, there is a requirement to combine it with another technology type in order to achieve the 5% energy savings requirements. Luca mentioned the details are on the program website, so feel free to check that out.
Thanks, Mayuran. Let's move to the next question. How can FRA be fast-tracked in cases where participants are looking to do detailed technical studies? Luca, would you like to take this one?
Yeah, you bet. If you have a high priority activity that you wish to complete, whether it's a detailed technical study or a capital project that you're planning to do in the near future, please let us know that information as part of the FRA process, and we'll do our best to accommodate your situation.
Great, thank you. The next question is, for capital retrofits, can office spaces also be included if they are attached and or unattached to the same building structure? Mayuran, this one will be for you.
Yeah, that's quite an interesting question. So for office space that is attached to the same building structure, it would be eligible to participate in the capital retrofit activity as long as the main facility would be eligible for the program. For office space that is unattached and in a separate building, it would not be eligible.
Thank you, Mayuran. The next question is, can I get more info on SEMI activities and what they entail? This one will be for you, Luca.
Thanks, Anna. Yeah, there's an application guide for each one of the 4 activities on our website that goes into a lot more detail than just our terms and conditions. We're also planning to host additional webinars for each one of the activities, in the near future, so please stay tuned.
Thank you, Luca. And Luca, this one will be for you as well. Can you please confirm the ERA website states solar PV is only covered up to 250,000 and 20% of costs? Can you confirm that's right?
Yeah, great question. So it's maybe a little bit difficult to confirm all the details verbally, so I do recommend that everyone take a look at our website. But yes, to clarify, solar PV is limited to $250,000 of incentives per project. But there's also some other eligibility requirements. So for example, the incentive cannot be greater than 20% of your entire project costs. There's also per watt incentives depending on the size of the solar PV system that you're planning to install. So I guess to summarize, it would be the lower of those three different criteria that would determine your incentive for your solar PV project. If you do have any questions, I can understand that can be potentially a bit confusing. Please do reach out to us if you have any questions after reviewing the information on our website, and we'll be happy to discuss your project with you.
Thank you, Luca. And the next one will be about waste exhaust heat recovery project. Are those eligible? This one will be for Luca as well.
Okay. I'm happy to answer it. Yes, waste heat recovery projects are eligible. The key thing there is there needs to be a 5% reduction in the energy usage or the fuel consumption. There will also be the same project requirements that Luca previously mentioned. So no new construction. So just keep that in mind as well. But yes, waste heat recovery would be eligible.
Thank you for clarification, Mayuran. And this one will be for you as well. How do we receive a warning when a client selects us as a contractor?
That's a great point. So when you log into the portal, previously you'll see that welcome screen if no one has given you any access, if customers haven't given you access to the account. The moment you are given access, what you'll see is you'll see that welcome message replaced with a list of the customers who have given you access. The other thing that we'll also implement, it's not available right now, but we will implement some kind of notification for you, some kind of automated email or something else that will be provided to you. But for now, how you'll know is on that screen, that welcome message will be replaced by the list of customers who have given you access to their applications.
Thank you. The next question is, can a for-profit company just install solar panels, or do they have to do another retrofit as well?
Hannah, would you like me to take that? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Luke.
Okay. Yeah, I can start and feel free to fill in any gaps if there are any, Myron. So yes, a for-profit organization can definitely move forward with the capital retrofit activity and install a solar PV project. As mentioned earlier in the presentation, the first step is to complete a facility readiness assessment. So as soon as they've completed their facility readiness assessment, they'll then have the option to complete the capital retrofit. And I know we also touched on it a little bit earlier as well, but one of the key components of a solar PV project is to ensure that you're hitting that 5% energy savings as well as a 5% GHG savings. We anticipate that a solar PV project will be able to achieve the 5% GHG savings. However, there will be a requirement for a solar PV project to bundle with another technology type in order to hit the 5% energy savings. One technology that we often recommend to solar PV contractors to install alongside their solar PV system in our program is, for example, LED lighting, just given that we know that solar contractors are often able to also install LED lighting. And maybe the last thing I'll mention here is that as part of the FRA process, we'll help you identify the different options that we think would be a good fit to help you achieve those 5% energy and GHG saving targets.
Thank you, Luca. Anything to add, Myron?
I thought that was a great answer. Thanks, Luca.
Thank you. And the next one is a great question. It'll be for Luca. How much money is left in SEMI? How long is it How long is the remaining money expected to last?
Yeah, that's a great question. What we previously did in the Energy Savings for Business program is we had a tracker on our website that showed how much of our budget had been allocated. At this time, we're still completing the first facility readiness assessments. So we're really at the early stages of the program. However, as we, I think, mentioned at the start of the presentation, it's a $50 million budget, and we do anticipate to be in market until March 31st, 2027. So we do have fiscal year targets for how much funding we're planning to spend. So in the coming months, we'll work on getting a tracker onto our website once we start getting some of those capital retrofit projects going, some of the EMIS projects, as well as the energy audits and assessments. And we already have some of the strategic energy management training group sessions underway. So yeah, once we have a bit more numbers there, we'll definitely make sure to update the website. But I will also encourage you to submit an application sooner rather than later. Our funding is based on a first come, first served basis. So please submit an application if you have a project you think would be a good fit.
Thank you, Luca. The next question is about eligibility. This one will be for you as well. The client is in Calgary, but their facility is in Saskatchewan. Are they eligible for this program?
Yeah, great question. So the facility itself that's receiving, I guess in this sense, I'm assuming would be a capital retrofit, would need to be based in Alberta. So even if they have, let's say an office in Alberta, but the actual facility where they want to complete the upgrades is in Saskatchewan, unfortunately that would not be eligible. That said, if they have an office in Calgary, maybe they want to participate in, our strategic energy management training. Maybe that would be a way for them to, get some in-house capabilities, and then that could be leveraged, by passing on that knowledge to facilities that, maybe are outside of the province. But to go back to your original question, if the facility is outside of Alberta, it's unfortunately ineligible to participate.
Okay, thank you for this clarification. And the next question is, where can we read more about the program? As a construction energy lawyer, how can we service interested stakeholders? And this one will be for Luca as well.
Yeah, I think I was asked to answer this question. I would encourage you to visit our website where we have additional resources available. If you're looking for more details, then perhaps are in the participant terms and conditions, for example. We do have our application guides that do go into more granularity. We also have webinars that were previously hosted that we have on our website, including this one, which will be uploaded shortly. Those are always good references if you want to get into a specific detail of the program. Last but not least, if you are at a point where you're trying to understand a bit more details about the program and you're just unsure what to do next, please reach out to our team and we'll be happy to set up a call with you to go through the details.
Thank you. And the next question is, are approved contractors with the Alberta Energy Efficiency Alliance get automatic listing as eligible contractors? Mayuran, would you like to address this one?
Yeah, so with the SEMI program, everyone needs to register. We don't have a way of automatically getting that listing and putting it onto the portal for the program. So every contractor will need to register. It's a relatively simple process. As you saw, it's a few screens and clicking on some consents. So we hope it should be quick to do. But in terms of an automatic approval, no, that's not doable. You'll have to register on the portal.
Thank you, Mayuran. I think this was the last question. Thank you, Luca and Mayuran, for addressing those questions. And Luca, I will pass it back to you to close the webinar.
Great. Appreciate all those questions that came in. So I'd like to thank everyone who participated in today's webinar. We're now approaching the end of our time together. If you're ready to start your SEMI journey, please register on the online portal today. We're here to support you every step of the way. We invite you to visit the SEMI program website at eralberta.ca/SEMI. As already mentioned, you'll find the application guides, FAQs, Contractor Code of Conduct, and other supporting documents. If you have unanswered questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to our program team at semi@eralberta.ca. A link to the presentation will also be sent to all those who registered for the webinar, as well as posted on ERA's YouTube page. We're going to attend the Alberta Energy Efficiency Summit on April 29th in Edmonton. If you are attending, please come to the SEMI booth and say hi. Thank you for joining our webinar, and we look forward to seeing you at the next one. Have a wonderful day.